Hey guys, Mark McKilley with Live Anabolic. And you hear me talk about the 3 core principles to staying in shape or getting in shape. And that is our training, our nutrition, and sleep. But you rarely ever hear me talk about the sleep, all right? Partly because it's really not that exciting, but you're gonna hear it anyway today. You've seen tons and tons of videos about training, and you hear me say abs are made in the kitchen all the time. Well, guess what? No matter how hard you train, no matter how well you eat, if your sleep is all screwed up, your results are going to be screwed up. All right, so there's several things that are going on when we sleep, and of course the obvious ones are you're resting and your body is repairing, especially repairing all those damaged muscle fibers that we hit so hard during the day. And you kind of hear me mention that occasionally, but let's talk about something a little bit different when it comes to sleep, and that is our hormones. So your body goes into overdrive at night when you're sleeping, producing hormones. Or if you're not getting enough sleep, that means you're not producing enough of these hormones. So you've probably heard me talk about testosterone a lot, okay? And that's the master male hormone. So if we're not getting enough sleep, that means our body doesn't have enough time to produce enough testosterone for us to basically, build back that muscle and have all the other benefits that come with testosterone. But there's a couple of other hormones that I never really talk about, and that's ghrelin and leptin. All right, you can Google those guys, but if you're not sleeping properly, then you're really gonna be out of whack with those 2 hormones. So if you're not producing enough ghrelin, that means you're gonna feel hungry. All right, so ghrelin is the hormone that affects your hunger pains, right? And then leptin is what makes you feel satiated. So if you have a lot of leptin in your body, then you feel like you've just eaten, all right? You feel satiated, you feel full, all right? So those are a couple of the hormones that, we take care of basically at night when everything's working properly, when we're exercising right, when we're eating the right foods, and then when we're sleeping enough, guys. And I don't know if you all have the same problems as I do, but I'm 58 and I don't sleep nearly as good as I did back when I was in my 20s or 30s. I mean, I tend to toss and turn on a regular basis. So I want to give you a few ideas on basically how to improve your sleep, all right? Along with some things that I do personally. All right, some of these things you might think are obvious, and some of them are not, I promise. Let me start off with one that is not obvious, and that is trying to increase the amount of bright light that you're exposed to during the day. All right, not late, not right before you go to bed, but during the day. And of course, the best way to do that is to get outside, all right? But if you can't get outside, I get it, especially in the winter, all right? Find a way to get some really bright lights. All right, where you're working, if you're sitting at your desk in front of a computer all day long, okay, make sure it's really well lit, all right? That helps with your body's natural 24-hour rhythm, okay? Another thing is, and this is something I screw up, all right? This is something I do wrong all the time, and that is don't eat late, all right? I get the munchies late, all right? And then I get into the refrigerator, even if it's healthy munchies, all right? If you're eating, an hour or 2 before you go to bed, that means you got all this food in your stomach and you're digesting, okay? And it really screws up your sleep pattern. Matter of fact, I find myself getting really hot and sweaty if I eat late. And part of that is because when you're digesting your food, that is an exothermic reaction, meaning it creates heat. So try to avoid eating late. And one of my tricks to do that is to have sugar-free popsicles. All right, it's basically frozen water with just a tiny bit of fake sweetener in it. So you're not really eating anything. It's just a little bit of flavored water, all right? But it makes you feel like you're getting something in your stomach. So, how long before you go to bed should you avoid eating? All right, well, it's gonna be a little different for everybody, but for me, it's at least 3 hours, all right? And it also depends on what you eat. So if you're eating something heavy, like a protein or fat, that takes a lot longer to digest, which means you gotta really make sure you don't eat within 3 hours of sleeping. If it's something light, like some rice cakes. All right, those things, get broken down and digested pretty quick. All right, you can do that maybe a couple hours before, but really keep it to a minimum. And of course, the other thing is, guys, caffeine. I love my coffee, okay? But I have figured out my body does not like caffeine, even in the afternoons. All right, so I can drink all I want before noon, before I go to work out. But if I'm feeling sluggish in the afternoon, and I take a cup of coffee, say at 4 or 5 o'clock, even though that's way before I go to bed, it screws with me, all right? Now, for most people, it may not affect you like that, but I've done some research, and caffeine stays in your blood system for 6 to 8 hours. So between 6 and 8 hours before you go to bed, absolutely, totally avoid anything with caffeine in it. All right, guys, you're not gonna wanna hear me say this, all right? But stop the alcohol, all right? I love to drink. I'm not a fuddy-duddy, all right? But I don't drink every single night. I know a lot of you men out there think you just deserve a cocktail every single night just because you made it home from work, okay? Well, that is gonna help screw up your sleep. So it's not just the calories that are coming in. Alcohol really does disturb your sleep. And I know because I have a young buddy that comes and visits me. He's in the Marines and he's 29 years old, and man, we like to party, all right? And that's only occasionally, and I will get hammered, all right? All right, so I'll be way over the limit. And then I fall asleep immediately, and then I wake up the next morning totally exhausted, all right? So my body gets so screwed up when I have a lot of alcohol in my system. I don't get any deep sleep. I don't get that good REM sleep. So even just one glass of wine for me, if I have it late at night, it will partially screw up my sleep. So really try to avoid that alcohol. Now, another thing you guys need to at least consider trying are supplements. We got a really cool supplement that I think you should at least give a shot or think about. It's called Anabolic Reload PM. This is what it looks like. Now, guys, we have 2 of these Anabolic Reloads. We have the nighttime version and one in the morning. And the neat thing about the nighttime version is, of course, it is designed to really help your body increase its natural production of testosterone. But it has some really, really good, powerful sleep aids in here too. And I know it works fantastic for me, but I've had tons of guys, all right, email, all right, and DM me on Facebook saying how it just rocks. It's just made their sleep fantastic. So it's not just your testosterone that helps. It really helps with your sleep, and of course, when you're sleeping better, it helps with those other hormones that I mentioned earlier. All right, so one quick thing about supplements, guys, is I realize they're not for everybody, okay? Everybody's genetics are different. Some men respond fantastic to supplements. Some men just don't. But the thing is, you'll never know if you don't give it a try. So if you're really having a hard time with sleep, at least give it a try. And if it doesn't work for you after a month or 2, that's fine. Don't buy anymore, okay? And if you really didn't like it, just let us know and we'll refund you. We have a fantastic money back guarantee, guys. So our genetics are different. Our nutritional intake is different. The amount of exercise we get during the day is different. The amount of sunlight and all those other factors that affect our sleep is different. So you never know if you're going to benefit from a supplement or not, but the vast majority of guys do. All right, there's a few more things, guys, when it comes to, helping with our sleep that I've thought of that I want you guys to know about, and that is blue light. A lot of you probably already know what the concept is, but our TVs, our laptops, computers, our tablets, all emit a blue light that really screws with our circadian system, and it makes you feel like it's real bright and outside. All right, so these are just reading glasses. These are $6 off of Amazon, but they have a blue light filter in them. So when I wear these, all right, it just slightly changes the color of the device I'm looking at, and it helps filter out that blue light. And I don't understand how this stuff works, guys, but I've seen the research, and scientists say blue light is not good for our brains as far as sleep is concerned. Now, another couple of things that I do personally is I like it cold. all right, when I'm asleep. And that's really a good way to help with your sleep experiment. Now, I don't have a wife over here complaining and bitching and moaning because it's too cold, all right, so you may have to deal with that, but I really crank the AC in my bedroom. And then the other thing is, I turn my ceiling fan on high, all right? So anyway, cold room, ceiling fan on high, and of course that has that kind of nice white noise background thing going. And then finally, this is another couple of things. If for some reason your bedroom just isn't all that dark, you know, when you turn the lights off, try one of these, all right? And I bought this for traveling on airplanes, but guys, I use this all the time. If I'm taking a nap on my couch with the TV on, that thing works fantastic as far as keeping the light out. And then one last thing you guys can try, and that is these little apps that have sounds on your cell phone. This is free, and so I can just select which sound I want, whether I want to hear the ocean or whether I want to hear a summer forest or maybe a rainstorm, and I just hit that and I just leave it on my nightstand and I listen to that all night long. All right, guys, so remember, guys, sleep is just as important as our training and our nutrition. And like you hear me say all the time, it ain't gonna happen overnight, but if you work on your sleep on a consistent basis, I promise, if you stick with it, you're gonna see results.